Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Minecraft. Or should I say, Monster Hunter Craft? Because today the project is something quite big. This is going to be a new series, probably. It's enormous. I was going to do time-lapse originally, but I don't really feel like making a time-lapse. So what we're building today is a Raviente, and I'm going to need a lot of sandstone. First we need to do a line of, it will be shaped. I'm working here with Kino because I needed a build partner for this. Is enormous. This is the daily block. No real method to my madness here, just kind of haphazardly placing blocks. Go across a little bit more. Come back in. And the goal with this whole project is to create something really, really big. We're on the daily block, by the way, in case I hadn't already mentioned that. Probably should have added these water holes here after I did the outline. So I've already used all. Oh God, all of my first stack of sandstone. So this could be a little while. Kind of the goal is don't really do any, and something you're doing something this big, just don't really worry about how it looks to begin with, because this is just an outline. We'll build up around it and make it look really good afterwards. Now, if you've never seen a Raviente, I have another video of that. It will be linked in the description of this one, and probably all the rest of the videos that I do on this series, which is the rest of the parts. And it's a very large monster from Monster Hunter. And I've got a video of me fighting. It's about the main one we're going to do is just some clips from it. And then it's going to be, the actual fight's about an hour long, and I have another one that's actually the whole fight. I'm going to run out of these blocks long before I have enough to do all the way around here. Now, basically this thing is, it's as big as an island, so we're going to need a whole lot of blocks. Okay, that. Yeah, we gotta need to start coming back around this way some and gonna bring itself in, because it's a snake. It's a giant snake. That's really all it is. So the way you want to really do this is try to make it look as non-exactly circular as humanly possible. And then you can just kind of work from there. See, I have raised minimap, which is really helpful with something like this because it lets you see kind of how you're doing on stuff. A little twist there. I'm trying to kind of stay around the edge of this. Okay, and then as we come in, this part's over here is going to be where its head is, not the end we're on. It's going to enter the tail. And so this part really needs to be yeah, there we go. Kind of come around like this and go inward a little bit. So we want it to be a little bit of a spiral, and at the same time be that's actually way too close. We're gonna have to go through with our diamond pick, kind of break some of the stuff off. And we're going to go around like this, kind of bring it up and connect like that. And then this part here can actually stay like that because it's really cool. Now this part here is, we're not quite done because this part here needs to go up. Because what Ravi does is it brings its head up and around, like this. And the picture we're using is actually not very good. There's quite a few pictures out there, but none of them are actually a picture of the full monster that are from any good angle at all. And so a lot of this stuff is just like, it's sort of right and sort of not, and I've gone through like 7 or 8 stacks of sandstone already. And yeah, we're building this default pack. I would normally never use default pack in a project like this. One second, guys. Alright, that should be pretty good for size. Yeah, so there we go. That's about the shape of this thing. Get a good view of it from here. It's actually, I'm not liking this here. I'm not liking this here at all. This section right here. So we're gonna erase this. All right, and from here you kind of want to go ahead and just kind of build it outwards. And by building it outwards, I mean you want to try to frame it out. Think of the monster having a skeleton, and build it out kind of like that, except using the bottom one. And just kind of build out the generic shape of the monster. See how I'm kind of doing it here. If you have a piece you don't need, you can just go back through. Generally, you'll probably want to do this in creative mode if you're going to build something like this. If you have the option of it. If you don't have the option of it, I really recommend doing it on a server where you have a lot of items and you farm things out. Like if you're going to do this on survival mode, on like single player, without too many items or anything like that, you're going to have a very hard time doing this. So, one of the big things you want to watch out for making a monster this big, especially by hand, is that you don't lack on the size. I mean, so something I've noticed that a lot of people, when they try to build something on this scale, they start off doing really well and they don't really frame it out like I've got here, and it ends up being that the monster doesn't look right, or it doesn't actually fit the proportions of which it's supposed to fit. So you want to try to make it accurately sized. Not something overly large, but at the same time not something overly small, especially on something of this scale. Try to fill things out here. Okay. One second, I can tell Kino what to do. We need a bunch of these that taper off as it goes down the tail. The issue with not having everyone who's going in a Skype call. Okay, so as you build it down, you kind of want to bring it up like this. It's going to be necessarily the same size you go through, maybe a little bit wider near here in the middle, till about right here, where you're going to have kind of the same thing, but it's going to be a little bit different. And I know it does not. It doesn't have to be exact. You want it to kind of make it look free-flowing, like it wants to be organic. It wants to look organic because it is organic. It's a monster. And so you want it to be kind of like this. And at this point, you have a point where you're basically got it to where on this monster. Let me bring up a picture real fast so I can get a good look at this. It's got a point on it where it's changes kind of the texture of its scales. If I can find one. Most of these are like the front half of the monster. It makes it really difficult to find exactly where the change occurs. There's actually a really good picture of the change. Okay, and it kind of goes from being like this to being a little more red. So we're gonna grab some of this netherrack we have, and kind of go from there. You just kind of see picture will overload. So you want to kind of bring it up like this, in and around. Try to make it look as just as organic as it has been. This one. Okay, there we go. So you kind of want to make it, you don't want it to be exact, you want it to be equal. It can be equal on both sides, but most of the time it doesn't really have to. And yeah, you want it to look, like I said, natural, and of course you're gonna have to work within the constraints of the texture pack you're using. These are actually a little too high. I'm thinking I might have to go through and bring those. Need a little bit closer than this. You kind of want them a good deal close together. Because basically how this works is you want to frame it, be able to like actually frame out the monster, and so doing this kind of stuff allows you to do so. And I also need these to be smaller. I was thinking they need to be a lot bigger than it did, and looking at this picture. Okay. And the way it works is that this thing has an under shell that's a little bit softer, and an over shell that is really, really thick. And that over shell is about the the soul sand color, so we got a bit of that. But first, we really want to just go ahead and get this lower level started. This is going to be a very large project, and this is going to take probably a couple weeks to do. So, at the very least, this will be an interesting series. As we fight through our many hardships building this thing. It's very big, and I have the outline here, and I want to try to keep it as not uniform, I guess is the best way to put it, as possible. Because having a uniform organic is kind of weird looking. It kind of crosses that line between this looks good and this looks kind of bad. We don't want this on this monster, even though it is a monster, it's fake, it doesn't actually exist, it still needs to have those components that say... I'm also running out of sandstone. Excuse me, my voice is kind of funky right now, but you kind of want to have those components that say, hey, I could be, if I were real, I would look real, and yeah, so see how we're kind of building up through here. And there. Alright, so we kind of want to see how we're doing it like this. And we're kind of filling in between there, and it's kind of curved up. But it's following not only the curve of these, but it's following also the curve of the monster that we laid out with the outline earlier. And that outline, as you can see, is kind of important. Simply because even if you get small things like that don't quite add up, and actually I'm going to take out some of this. You can always go back in, you can erase things, you can replace them. You want to try to keep kind of a uniform width about this monster too. Now another way you could be doing this, and the way I thought about doing it originally, is you can use a bucket plugin called Voxel Sniper. And if you've been watching my channel a lot, or if you're subscribed to me, if you're not, be sure to click that button right above the video. It is not that hard. That one click, you'll be able to see all the really cool, awesome videos I do. Minecraft, Monster Hunter, and all that kind of things. But enough plugging my channel here. When you use Voxel Sniper, you can actually get a very nice ball brush and kind of go down and go through, and it makes it kind of a nice thing. I decided though that for the sake of this looking even better, I wanted to not really rely on Sniper. I wanted to do this by hand. Not saying Sniper is not a good tool for this. Sniper is actually a very good tool if you want to make large-scale organics. And it's good because you have a lot of different brushes. You can use ball brush, disc brush, and a plethora of other really, really useful brushes. Line brush is a good one. Triangle brush is amazing, like for sails and things if you're making boats. But it becomes quite like it. In this case, I feel that it doesn't detract from the build. But it does. How do I put this? It does cause me as a builder to rely a lot less on what skills I've learned over the years and of being a Minecrafter and making cool things and playing on the Voxel since October. When was it? August of last year, September, something like that. And so. Just wanted to, so I want to really do a lot more of this, and I get grief all the time. It's like, oh, you shouldn't use Sniper for organics, and it's like, but you can, and it works really well. There we go. You can kind of see here where it's not quite uniform, but it looks a bit like, with this texture though, it looks a bit like scales, and that's kind of what I was going for here. Now I don't want it really any higher than this third block. I'm not even gonna ask what's going on in chat. It's just getting kind of weird. And I think these here actually need to come down a bit, because over this is actually a layer on the monster is actually a layer where it has scales that come down over this. So it's going to have to come out like this. I'll try to map that out just a little bit now so we can kind of see how it's going to look. Not so far out. You'd probably be using a shovel on this because it's sand. I'm not even going to ask what's going on in chat. Kind of see it's going to look a little weird at first as you try to build it out, but as you get more and more of it done, it'll start to look better and better, and that should be like that. You start to see, okay, I need to do this here and this here to make it look and seem like it's an actual shell going over the monster. Now this is just a couple of spikes. Normally I would not go into doing this before we had the whole thing done with the sandstone here, but in this case I kind of just want to see how it looks, and I do want to use some other things aside from sandstone because it's a variety of colors, and sandstone will not sandstone but soul sand will get a little boring after a while, so you want to try to watch how you do that and mix in other colors like this brown and maybe some darker reds if I can find one in this texture pack. Maybe some nether brick in there as well would cause it to look really good. So yeah, we're gonna continue on here. The head will probably be the last thing that I choose to work on here, because for me heads are crazy difficult. When it comes to dragons and monsters, it's just I don't even know. It's something about the way the heads and stuff work on monsters that just I can't handle it. Not that I can't handle it. It's just I'm not as good at it as I am with some other things like just tails and even wings. And wings are the hardest part of building a monster, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do a monster like this as opposed to building Fatalis or something like that. Well, one, I can get more detail in on this than I can on Fatalis. Also, I know some of you who have been watching the channel for a while are wondering, why am I building this big, enormous organics in default pack? I mean, of all the texture packs to use, why default? Well, default pack, it's basically it's one of the most used texture packs, and I want anybody who looks at this to be able to say, wow, that looks really cool. It doesn't matter what texture pack you're using. Now, obviously, if I were to change to organics packs randomly while doing this, it would look really bad. Like, I'll go and do that now and just go and show you guys just how bad it's going to look in other certain texture packs, because a lot of these are, like I said, repurposed blocks, and so a lot of the colors you have here, the sandstone still seems to fit quite well. Oh, hey, the image finally finished loading, but this color here, this soul sand, looks really nasty and disgusting. So we're gonna head back to default pack. Alright guys, well I'm gonna call this episode 1 because it's been a set amount of time that I'm not sure about. And so we'll catch you guys up next episode. I'm gonna continue recording, but these will go up on a fairly regular update schedule, in between Monster Hunter and stuff like that. Mainly because I kind of wanted to mix the two things on the channel. I see a lot of people enjoy the Monster Hunter videos, and a lot of people enjoy the well, not a whole lot, actually. Less people enjoy the Minecraft videos, so I thought, well, what if I can pull Monster Hunter people into Minecraft? And this is kind of where this series spawned. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, thanks for watching. It means a lot. And if you did enjoy, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is Graveon, signing out.